Hello everybody, how's it going? Superfiend here, and welcome back to Let's Play Planet Coaster. We've got our park Whacky World here, and off camera I went ahead and played around with a few ideas. I'll show you those in a moment. I did actually record an episode and then decided that I didn't like it because there wasn't enough focus in it, so I deleted it and then played with this stuff over here. So let me go ahead and just unpause the park so that our research and things can keep moving along. In the episode that I did record and didn't keep, there was a couple research items that were finished. One of those being the, where are they here? Where's the balloons or the swings? The Charoplane, which is something that I want to build over here in this pirate jungle temperate area. And we're still waiting on that Hellion ring. We haven't got that yet. We do have some research going here. Where's our research? We got a coaster and a family ride and a thrill ride. I went ahead and I trained the staff and gave them all slight pay raises. Looks like this, our janitor guy could use a little bit more. Let's go ahead and bump him up, keep him happy. And everything's going well in the park. All of the attractions are making money more or less, except for the Freaky Flyers, and I'm not that concerned. I guess we could just bump the price up to $14 and see if people still go on it. And the shops are doing good. You'll notice here that all the ride reputations are established. A few of them were old or approaching aging, and I went ahead and I rebranded them simply because I want to keep their reputations as if they were new or as close to new as possible, because I don't really consider the park opened until we close this initial entrance, move things over, and start using the main entrance here. So let's go ahead and hop over here and look at what happened. First off, I deleted some stuff that was over here. There were a few pieces of this building that were kind of dangling around. I went ahead, I got rid of them. I added the ride exit, and I had to move this path. I had to make some changes to this path to fit it in here. And we just got a nice little staircase that goes down. I don't know if this is going to be the actual layout at the end, but for now I'm intending to keep it. And then I just built a block section coming off of here to make sure that we weren't going to have any problems getting the track in and out of here with the pathway underneath it. And then I just put, what are these called? I can't remember. They're just the drive tires. That's what they are. I put some drive tires to just bring the cars out of the station and lift it up at a nice gentle incline up to here. And I think there's going to be a temple top, and they'll maybe move through a little bit of scenery and stuff here. This is 21 meters high, so we got plenty of room for drops and other stuff, which is why this is not a very steep incline. So that's kind of what happened with this hidden temple ride that is just stuck as a work in progress for the time being. And then I went ahead and I played with some scenery pieces. Now, when I think of temple scenery, you think of lots of overgrowth, bushes, brush, and then pillars and stone architecture. That's what I think of, stone architecture. You don't really think of intricate designs such as this. This is a fairy tale piece from the fairy tale scenery. It's the, oh, we have to pop in here to look at it. This is a fairy tale vertical column, and then there's another fairy tale horizontal column down here. I think of more pieces that are like this. Rough stone with a basic shape. These pieces can be used for temple scenery. And you can also use the fountains if you're creative enough and find a use for them. The built-in pieces made out of sandstone are pretty good. They work well because they're rough stone. They're not very uniform. It doesn't look like they were machined or anything, which is kind of what we want. And I think of round circular structures and pillars. And so let's go over here and see what we can do. I went through all the scenery of the game, which I kind of like to do when I'm getting my ideas together. And I tried to find some pieces that would go well in a temple. And so here we got some pillars. This looks more like a, I don't know, Roman or Greek architecture type thing. We got these little pieces here. What is this? This is a stucco pillared base. We got these caps. Of course, there's these pieces. We got the cider press edge, and there's one that's plain and one that has decoration on it. And then we got a few fountains over here. So what can we do with these? Again, like I said, I think of pillars and columns, and most of these pillar pieces, like this would be a good one, except I don't like these windows in it. I don't really think of windows, although maybe we could dress them up as decorative displays, put like little skulls in them. And maybe that could work as like a sacrificial offering trophy area. I don't know. But the big problem with these is that they're kind of big and they only fit on the grids. So we can't really move them where we want to. They're not very freeform. We can't rotate them. We can't tilt them. We can't make it look like a column fell over on the ground. We can't do any of that with those pieces. So that kind of sucks. And so what I did is I went over here and I just thought, well, let's just create or take some of these built-in pieces that we can, and let's just combine them in interesting ways and see what we can come up with. So I took some of an octagonal fountain, and I just stacked them on top of each other. Now this could work as like a main support column inside of a temple. I could see that in there. I could see something like this. I could see a combination of the two. You know, maybe if we took, maybe if we just took this and duplicated it over here. And let's see, I don't want the whole thing. Let's unselect the bottom one. Let's just slide this over. We'll accept that. And what if we just took two from here? Well, this camera goes crazy sometimes. And what if we just put these here and stacked them and then just lifted them up? And of course, we could be more fine-tuned with the placement. I just want to see what it would look like if we did this. And now that we've got those two pieces there, we could duplicate and lift. Let's see. We could accept that and then duplicate these two pieces, lift it again, and then do it one more time. And you see, just by doing that, we can create some relatively interesting designs. We've got these little fountain pieces over here. These are just fountains. If we take these three and lift them up, oops, not that. We want the top three. Just lift them up, and there you go. You get the water underneath. So just, you know, flip them and invert them and stack them on top of each other. You can do some interesting things with those. And then you got these pieces over here. You can take these types of pieces. You could even take these pieces, and we can make columns out of those. So I did that, and let's go ahead and see what they look like. So what we have here is we have the stucco pillar, and I've made two circular columns out of it. And basically all you do is you just take one of these pieces, set it down, and go into the advanced duplicate and go in the rotation and just turn on angle snap and just pick 15 or 30. And then you just rotate, okay, rotate, okay. And at 30 degrees, it only takes 2 rotations. And at 15 degrees, it takes, what, 4 rotations to get it done. So advanced duplicate, go down to 15, rotate, rotate, and one more, 2 more. Okay, and that's how you would make those. And you do have to be careful doing this because just this one piece right here, just this one column is now 3 scenery pieces. This one is 6. So they do add up quickly when you do that. I took the concrete column cap and I made this very jagged, interesting thing. This to me doesn't really seem like a hidden temple type design, but I don't know, maybe. But again, this takes quite a few scenery pieces to get this done. Just this one little cap or one tiny column is 12 pieces already. Using one of these over here, the fairy tale cornerstone cap, doing the same thing. We built this. Now this to me looks like a column we might see in a temple of sorts. I kind of like that. We might be using that over here. There's a more basic ways to just stack them and invert them like this, and that kind of works too. I think that looks all right. If we head over here, I did place these two just to see what they look like. This is the concrete in the game. This is just, it just doesn't look like a temple, you know, like an Aztec Mayan temple. It looks like concrete. So, you know, they did a good job with the texture on that. And the sandstone, again, this is okay too. I do like this, but we can't do as much with this. So if you were building a temple and you want to stack a few of these to make certain pillars, you can't make it look like they fell over, or it's hard to make them look damaged because you can't tilt them. Over here, what we do with this one? Okay, we took one of the stucco pillars and I just rotated it so it was lying flat, and just did a lot of rotations. Oops. A lot of rotations at 15 degrees, and I just went all the way around, kept doing it until we filled up a whole flat piece. And then after I filled up the flat piece, I selected them, duplicated it. So let's see, if we rotate around this way, we should be able to get just the tops. Got a little bit of the bottoms too, but that's okay. So just duplicate and then just lifted them up, and that's kind of how I did that. So we can cancel out of that one. This one here, I think this one actually turned out kind of interesting. I think it looks good with the little designs on the side. I could actually see this in some sort of temple. And this is the cider press from over here. It's just one of these. I stood it up on its end and then just kept rotating them around until we got this very interesting thing here. And I could see that being inside of a temple. And then with the concrete column, I was able to make these designs. And so I was just kind of playing around and seeing what we could come up with and how might we use them over here in this coaster station. And what I'd like to do is I'd like for the bottom of this coaster station below, you know, the queue here, I'd like it to be open, supported by columns. So what we're going to do, I think, is we're going to come over here, and I think these ones, they're a little bit too hard on the edges. For the design that I want, I think that this or this is more appropriate. I might use this elsewhere in this ride as part of the scenery. For now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to select these, and I'm just going to duplicate that. And we're going to bring it over here. And let's see, we'll just add it to this building. And it can kind of sit off the edge a little bit. It doesn't need to be perfect. And you know what, before we add it to the building, let's go ahead and edit this building. And let's just go ahead and extend the floor out over here like this. And let's see, how big is this floor? It is 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's a 4x4 grid. So let's just duplicate that over here. Okay, we'll do that. Now we'll go back over here. Where did it go? And what is kind of neat about Planet Coaster, if you're editing a building and you click on a piece in another building, you will magically be editing that building. And then you can select items in here, you can duplicate them, drag it over to another building, and you see it says add to building. And so what we're going to do is, and it even wants to snap right in the center here. So let's see. Let's go ahead and snap that. And we'll duplicate it. The snapping is a little off. It looks like it's picking the bottom center edge for the snap place. So it's a little bit off. So that's not going to work. All right. Boy, this camera is really obnoxious sometimes. I don't like the camera in this game very much. It's a little awkward to use, I think. Trying to use both mouse buttons to click and then spin around, and then if you don't let go of them at the exact same time, you end up with like the hand left behind. And sometimes when you do it like this and then the hand ends up over here, your camera shoots off in crazy directions. I should probably go play with the controls at some point and see if I can refine it to something that's a little bit better for me. Okay, now let's go ahead, let's move this. Let's say like this. And this column was going to go out on the outside corner here. So let's just see exactly where we can get that. But then I also want one over here split evenly across that gap. So let's see. We can do this. Line it up nicely. We'll accept that. Then we'll duplicate and we'll line this one up in the middle of these two. And if we were to rotate it, what's it going to spin around? Yeah, it's going to spin around. It doesn't want to spin around the center of all the pieces. It wants to spin around the some imaginary point over here. I wish we could change this point. I wish we could move it. That would be neat. That's okay. Oh, come on. I didn't want to cancel the whole thing. All right, let's try again. Duplicate move, and we'll go ahead and line this up in the center here. And the next piece can go out on this edge. It may have to be a little bit shorter because of the staircase, and if that happens to be the case, we'll fix it at that time. Oops. Let's go ahead and slide this all the way over. I'll just set that there. And where else are we going to put some pillars in here? Okay, so in the middle of the other two, but on the opposite side, that's where we'll put one. We'll just select everything, deselect the floor, and advanced move. Try and get this thing right in the center if we can. That's pretty good. We're using this little nook right here to line it up, and then we'll slide it over, and then we'll just bump it up to the edge. Okay. And then if we duplicate that and slide it off over here, should be okay. Well, actually too, oops, never mind. I was gonna say we could use a little dot that was on the floor. It pretty much lined up on the line there. And maybe just one more right in the center. It's gonna match up with this one here, with these ones. So we'll go ahead and select them. Advanced move. And we'll try to get this right in the center. Looks like it's a little bit off, doesn't it? So it needs to come over this way a little bit. That means that this one's probably a little bit off. So we'll just make a small adjustment. Okay. And I think, what is that? 6 pillars holding this building up. I think that'll work okay. We might be able to get away, let's see, with bringing one more underneath this staircase. So let's just go ahead and grab these ones, but not all the floor pieces. Let's duplicate that, and we'll just move it over here like this. And we'll see what that's going to give us. We'll see how we like how that looks. Let's go ahead now, and we'll just get rid of all the floor pieces. Again, we're not worried about money anymore. That's why we built all of that over there. It's keeping our income nice and steady. And let's go ahead and just take all these pieces, and now we'll slide them in here. And I'm just going to kind of go right like this. Okay. I think we can afford to, let's see, drop it down just a little bit, like that. We'll just take a peek at it from around different angles, see how it looks. And this is okay. So we're going to go ahead and keep that and how that is for now. And these are awfully big next to our little guy here. And so now the next thing I want to do is I want to build a floor in here. So let's go ahead and select these floor pieces. We'll just duplicate them off over this way. And duplicate, duplicate, duplicate. I guess we could have kept the other ones, but yeah, who cares? Spilt milk and all that. And now let's move these. And let's see, where exactly do we want this floor to go? Where should it go? About this high? Where does it start to collide with the coaster station? About there. Let's tilt the camera down a little bit. Of course, when we do this now, it becomes a little bit harder to position it. And let's see, kind of thinking here. Let's change the grid height, get a little bit more granularity out of it. So it's looking like maybe here is pretty good. Oh, and another consideration too is the staircase, the exit staircase. We don't want it to, see, if we go this high, it pokes through it. And we have to be here for it to not poke through that staircase. So let's just see. That's plenty big for the people to get through in this cube building. So we can keep that. It does look a little cramped. So I don't know if I like it. I think I want it to be a little bit higher inside. And I think I'm going to go back. I think I'm going to go back to this high. But we can see that these pillars, there's going to be a little gap at this height. So let's go ahead and move these pieces over. We'll zoom out here. This could be tricky. Planet Coaster building surgery. Let's get all the pillars. Let's just lift them back up. Okay. Get these pieces back from over here. Go ahead and join them in. And that's going to work. We can probably get rid of these. Okay, so there's a lot of them to get rid of when you do this rotational method to make pillars. I'm just going to right click. If you did not know, right clicking will remove whatever piece is under the cursor. Nice little shortcut. And there's a couple other ones right over here. Okay. And let's, oops, okay, come on, camera. Okay, so these ones here, we're probably going to move these around a little bit. I don't think we need these ones on top, so we can get rid of those. Now let's see what we can do about these. I just want to select the pillars. I didn't get the ones on the bottom. Are they selected or not? I don't think they're selected. It's not selecting the ones on the bottom. Okay, we also got this piece. All right, I think that is all of them. Of course, if you're not sure, an easy thing to do is just move it out like that, and you can see that you got them all. Okay, so how are we going to position this so that we got a nice little pillar here supporting the staircase without poking through it? So if we go back a little bit, so we get that blue arrow, and go down just a tiny bit. Okay, that looks good. And then these ones here, and we got some room to move these ones towards this curve. So that's probably how we're going to fix that. So let's select what we can. Got to try to deselect the floor. Okay, and now if we just move them a little bit this way, maybe a little bit back towards us. And let's see, what's it doing now? It cleared out of the staircase. It'll probably be poking through the railing, but yeah, who cares? We'll let that go. And so that looks all right. And now, anywhere else where we need to clean these up a little bit. Let's see how else they interact with the path. I think since we moved those ones back, we're going to move these ones back a tiny bit. Come on. I don't think I got them all. Here we go. And we'll slide these ones out just a bit. Clear them out of the railing a little bit. This one we're going to keep it where it is, and over here. Happy with that one. Happy with that one. Although not quite happy that it is bumping through the staircase here. It's a little too much. They're going to step through it. They're going to clip. And of course we have floor pieces going through the building here. Let's see if we can get rid of it. Okay. And what do we want to do here? We could just lower this down. I think that's what we have to do. We can't delete the top pieces because then it creates too much of a gap between the staircase. So we're going to go ahead and try to get these and then lower it down. Okay, like so. Okay, here we go. Now see if it's sticking through the floor just a little bit like that, that would be okay. You don't really see them step on that, but we do have a little bit of room to move it this way. And then it maybe won't be in that step at all. It's not in the railing. It's just barely in the step. And it is poking through the floor a little bit here, so can we move it this way also? You know, I think that's going to be good enough. So there we go. We got a nice looking little floor piece here. I don't know if I like this gap. Maybe it would be better to let the coaster station come out a little bit further and then bring it down. And so maybe we'll end up doing that at some point in the future. It's just going to be kind of hard to work around this this hole here in the floor. But then again, I don't know. We might be able to pull it off. And let me see, anything else I really want to do here. I did start building a temple over here. I'm going to refine it a little bit more before we go into any details on that. And so I think right now this is a good place to tie off the designing in this episode. Let's just go ahead and take a peek and see where our research is. I think those items should probably be done at our roller coaster here. We got the rival, looks like a suspended coaster, and this was the family ride. Okay, this is the swinging boat. That's definitely going to go over here in this area somewhere. And the sundial, and let's see, smashing the atom, great machinations, and burning rubber, back to the 80s. What do we want to get? Let's go ahead and do burning rubber, and let's just get this research cranked out. Okay, and while we're waiting for the research to crank out, let's go ahead and look at our rides here now that we have. And what are we going to put in this area? I want to put these swings. Let's see. This is the border of, well, what I think will be the border of this jungle themed area. So I'm thinking somewhere in here we're going to have a body of water. Let's see, the park edge goes all the way over to here. I did say that I wanted to build a water area inside of a cave with the Kraken in it and have some sort of coaster go through there. I think that'll occupy this back corner, kind of this area over here. So what I'm thinking we'll do with, and then this is where the monorail station might be. So I'm thinking we might have some sort of water plaza or just a water view right here. And let's see. People are going to get off the monorail. They're going to want to go here. They're going to want to go over here. I want to draw them this way. And so I think right here, I'm probably going to lift it off the ground, but I'm thinking for right now, we're just going to put the chairs over here, and they're going to be part of a like another kind of temple setting, kind of tucked away, hidden, make a wavy path to get to them. Probably lift them up so that they're kind of in the hills, so that if you were on these chairs, you would have a nice view of everything around in this area. And let's go ahead and look at our other rides really quick. Bump and Derby, Hyperspin. And that doesn't really look like it fits this area of the park. The Iron Claw. Yeah, I don't know about that. Magic Twirl. No, it's got these little flying pig things. I don't know what those are. And the Pathos, this I think was new with the summer update. We could maybe put this over here. The Rocktopus, this is I think a good attraction to drop in this area somewhere. We can decorate the queue with some nice pirate looking scenery, a few palm beaches. And so let's see, where might we put this? We're gonna have a couple of rides right here. I'm gonna put the swingy boat thing somewhere over here, I think. So maybe we'll put the Rocktopus. Maybe we'll put the Rocktopus down over here, roughly. Let's go ahead and drop that. And let's see. Aeronauts, these little balloons. That looks more like a boardwalk attraction to me. Something a little bit more modern. Here we go, the boat. So let's see, if we're going to have some sort of waterfront area here, I think maybe the boat will kind of go, I don't know, roughly right here, I guess. By the water. The water will be set up behind the boat. And let's see, what else do we got? I mean, none of this is final. We can move it around if we want to. I do know we got a whirly rig, that stupid ride that I can't pronounce. I know we got one over here. I am going to want to set one in over here. So let's go ahead and drop one of those. It'll be completely different from the other one. And where are we going to set this guy up? Let's see. Maybe this will be one of the first things that you see as you come in here. You get a nice view of the boats and the water. We might be able to put like a small kid coaster in here. And we just need that Hellion ring. We want the Hellion ring also. Yeah, let's see. And what coasters do we have now? We have a few more coasters because we have been doing the research. We just haven't really been watching it. What do we got? Chain lift, can invert for adults and teens only. What do these cars look like? That's awfully shiny. We got this spiral twisty thing. I tried to build one of these in a previous park. It's a little bit harder than you think to kind of get it to spin the way you'd hope. Of course, we got the mine car. Let's see. Adults and teens only. Adults and teens only. If we're going to have some sort of water stuff over here, I don't know. Maybe we could get away with a suspended ride that kind of, goes around and then comes back in or something. I don't know. I'm not going to put any more coaster stations. We're already being a little ambitious with this guy, and just look how far it is. We got a long ways to go. And one last thing before we tie off this episode, let's just go and, how do I get out of here? Let's look at our employees, make sure that they're all happy. They should be. Where do I want to go? Park management. Staff is all happy. The guests want more food and drink. What are they saying? Entrance pizza looks busy. Entrance shakes looks busy. So even though these guys are trained, they're one level away from being grand masters of serving food. And people are complaining that the shops look busy. So let's go ahead. Last thing we'll do in this episode is let's go ahead and train all these people and increase their salaries to 200. Which is not a lot of money, but they're happy with it. And we'll finish this episode off. Thank you for watching. Check back in on the next one. We're gonna keep getting that research going, flesh out a few more details here. I'm gonna play with this this thing a little bit more and then kind of show you how to build it. And we're probably gonna put that like maybe over here, and this ride will go zooming by it or do something with it. I don't know. We'll find out. Thanks again for watching. Have a good afternoon, and we'll see you next time.